Welcome, architecture enthusiasts and curious minds alike, to an exploration of American architectural heritage. Today, we embark on a journey through time tracing the evolution of American architecture, from the humble beginnings of colonial structures to the grandeur of Greek Revival, from the intricate designs of the Victorian Era to the sleek lines of Modernism. Our exploration spans centuries of architectural prowess. We'll delve into how each era has left its indelible mark on the country's heritage, shaping the American landscape as we know it today. If you're captivated by this intriguing tapestry of design and history, we invite you to explore more in our playlist. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share these insights with fellow architecture enthusiasts. Your comments are always welcome as they enrich our community with diverse perspectives. Dive with us now into the fascinating world of American architectural heritage. Our journey begins in the Colonial Period, where American architecture found its roots. This era was rich with the infusion of European styles, from the gabled roofs of English cottages to the symmetric facades of the Georgian style. Yet it was not mere mimicry. The settlers took these styles and adapted them to their new environment, focusing on simplicity and functionality. They used local materials like timber and brick, creating structures that were sturdy and practical. The designs were often plain, unadorned, emphasizing utility over ostentation. The homes were usually 1 or 2 stories high, with a central chimney for heating. This era was defined by the practical needs of the settlers, carving out a distinct identity that was uniquely American. It was a testament to their resilience and adaptability. Thus, the colonial period set the foundation for American architecture with its practical and straightforward designs. Moving forward, we encounter the Greek Revival, a testament to America's democratic ideals. Emanating from the early 19th century, this architectural style was anything but subtle in its influence. The Greek Revival left an indelible mark on America's landscape, shaping the aesthetic of public buildings and private homes alike. This era saw American architects drawing inspiration from the ancient Greeks, a civilization they held in high regard for its democratic principles. Pillared porticos, pedimented gables, and symmetrical facades became the order of the day, reminiscent of the Parthenon and other iconic Greek structures. These architectural elements were more than mere design choices. They were physical manifestations of the country's democratic values. In places of governance and learning, the Greek Revival style was particularly prevalent. It was as if every column and capital was a nod to the democratic ideals that America held dear. The Greek Revival period therefore mirrored America's political landscape through its architectural designs. Next, we step into the Gothic Revival era, an age of romanticism and spirituality. This period saw the American architectural landscape transform, drawing inspiration from medieval Europe. The Gothic Revival movement was particularly impactful on religious and university buildings, reflecting America's deepening cultural and intellectual sophistication. Picture this: towering steeples, intricate tracery, and pointed arches, all hallmarks of this architectural style, gracing the skyline of cities and towns across America. The churches and cathedrals of this era were not just places of worship, but also symbols of religious idealism and spiritual aspiration. Similarly, the campuses of many American universities were also shaped by this architectural style. These academic institutions, with their Gothic Revival buildings, became centers of learning, inquiry, and innovation, embodying the growing intellectual prowess of the nation. The Gothic Revival period thus added a layer of cultural richness to American architecture, leaving an indelible imprint that continues to influence architectural designs and concepts even today. Our journey now takes us to the Victorian era, marked by ornamentation and extravagance. This period, spanning the mid to late 19th century, saw a dramatic shift in American architecture. Where previous styles reflected practicality and function, Victorian architecture was a celebration of aesthetics and detail. Residential buildings of this era are a testament to America's economic prosperity. They boasted intricate woodwork, expansive porches, and multifaceted roof lines, features that were once reserved for the affluent. The availability of mass-produced decorative elements allowed even modest homes to mimic the grandeur of wealthier residences. Victorian architecture was more than just a style. It was a reflection of the nation's optimism and confidence. It highlighted America's transition from a young, developing country to a prosperous nation with a growing middle class. The Victorian era, therefore, showcased America's growing wealth and prosperity through its architecture. We now enter the Modernist Movement, an era of innovation and progress. This period of architectural history, which emerged in the early 20th century, revolutionized the way we think about buildings. Modernist architects broke away from the ornate styles of the past, instead embracing simplicity, functionality, and the use of new materials and technologies. Commercial and residential buildings alike were transformed by this movement. Skyscrapers reached new heights, their sleek glass and steel facades, reflecting America's technological advancements and economic power. On a smaller scale, homes became showcases for innovation with open floor plans, clean lines, and a focus on connecting the indoors with the outdoors. But the modernist movement was more than just a stylistic shift. It was a reflection of a changing society, one that was looking forward, eager to embrace the possibilities of a new century. The modernist movement thus marked a turning point in American architecture, heralding a new age of innovation and progress. Our exploration brings us to postmodernism, where architecture embraced diversity and expression. A fascinating era. Postmodernism broke free from the rigid, impersonal structures of modernism, instead embracing a more playful, eclectic approach. This period of architecture, emerging in the mid-20th century, allowed architects to experiment with form, color, and material, mirroring the cultural and social diversity of America itself. Postmodern architects were not afraid to mix and match styles, drawing inspiration from the past while adding their own contemporary twists. Buildings became canvases for self-expression, showcasing America's creative freedom. Iconic structures from this era, like the AT&T building in New York with its Chippendale-inspired top, represented a departure from the norm, sparking dialogue and debate. Postmodernism brought a sense of whimsy and wonder back into architecture, encouraging us to see our built environment not just as functional spaces, but as works of art. Postmodernism, therefore, added a vibrant splash of diversity and creativity to American architecture. We now delve into green architecture, reflecting America's growing environmental consciousness. This architectural style emerged in the late 20th century as a response to the growing awareness of our planet's ecological fragility. Green architecture embodies America's commitment to sustainability, integrating environmental considerations into every aspect of the design process. From the use of locally sourced materials to energy-efficient designs, green architecture strives to minimize the environmental impact of buildings. This movement has influenced America's architectural landscape in profound ways, transforming the way we think about and approach building design. It has encouraged architects to create structures that harmoniously coexist with their natural surroundings rather than dominating them. This changing mindset has fostered the creation of buildings that not only respect but also enhance their environments. Green architecture thus signaled a new era in American architecture, one that prioritizes sustainability and environmental responsibility. This architectural style represents a powerful testament to America's ongoing commitment to preserving our planet for future generations. Finally, we arrive at digital architecture, where technology takes the reins. In this revolutionary era, American architecture undergoes a metamorphosis propelled by the nation's technological prowess and forward-thinking mindset. Digital architecture, a phrase synonymous with innovation, signifies the seamless integration of technology into building designs. It's a realm where algorithms and software applications shape structures, and virtual reality assists in visualizing architectural marvels before they physically exist. American architects, always at the cutting edge, leverage this digital revolution to create sustainable designs, smart buildings, and dynamic urban spaces. They harness the power of data, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to develop structures that are not just aesthetically pleasing, but also environmentally friendly and energy efficient. This new wave of architecture is not merely about erecting buildings. It's about creating living, breathing entities that interact with their inhabitants and the environment. Digital architecture, therefore, represents the future of American architecture, one that embraces technology and innovation. From the colonial period to digital architecture, American architecture has undeniably shaped the country's heritage. In our exploration today, we've journeyed through various architectural epochs, each with its unique charm and influence. We started with the colonial period, where architecture was a reflection of the settlers' origins. Then we moved on to the Greek Revival, a testament to America's admiration for classical ideals. The Gothic Revival period showed us a more romantic and ornate approach to architectural design, which was then contrasted by the opulence and extravagance of the Victorian era. The Modernist movement brought about a shift towards functionality and simplicity, which was later challenged by the Postmodernism's playfulness and diversity. The more recent trend towards sustainable green architecture demonstrated the country's commitment to environmental consciousness. And finally, the digital architecture era, where technology and design intertwine to create innovative spaces. As we continue to explore and understand American architecture, we also unravel the unique story of America itself. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and don't forget to explore more in our playlist.